Welcome to training day number 5. I want to encourage you that every day we gather around the word, we talk about it, we encourage one another, we are gaining strength. So keep going. Today, actually want to talk about math, and I probably am the last person who needs to talk about math because it was my least favorite subject. Jake is the one to go to, a couple others maybe. But for me, I struggled a lot. So I had some pretty good teachers. They could talk about math for the full hour or hour and a half, whatever the class may be. And I still struggled. But what was interesting to me is I could listen to them, but it didn't start making sense until they actually wrote out an example. And somehow watching them go through the process and being able to see the problem being solved helped make, if I made any connections, helped make the connections. So, kind of hearing it was one thing, but watching somebody follow through the process allowed me to actually learn. So any of the times I went, oh, I got it in my math class, it was usually after an example. In that, our training, we're gonna talk through 1 Timothy chapter 4, and in verse 11 and 12, it says, "Command and teach these things. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity." I believe Paul actually is stating something very similar to what I experienced. Sometimes we can talk about something and it might make sense, but when we actually show somebody something, it makes a bigger connection. And I believe scripture is telling us not just to talk the talk, but to walk the talk. That we have a chance to set an example in certain things. So tomorrow night we're going to be talking about what it looks like to set an example in speech. But maybe today you and your training partner can kind of encourage one another and maybe even think about somebody who's really set a good spiritual example for you. It could be the way they prayed, or it could be how they held themselves when in conflict. It could be the way that they always spoke well of somebody, or how they handled a situation when they were angry. I believe people set examples for us often, and maybe start thinking about those that have set an example for you. And then think about what kind of example do you want to set as people are watching you. What will they learn from you? What will they pick up on spiritually and go, oh, that makes sense now. So carry on with your training. Proud of you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.